Welcome to Rocky Broad Solar, where we encourage you to make the current flow. On today's episode, we are going to go over the EG4 12000XP V2. Let's get into it. So the V2 is the second version of EG4's famous 12000XP off-grid inverter. The main difference with the version 2 is that we can get up to 15,000 watts max continuous output with PV. So when the sun is shining, you get that additional 3,000 watt boost compared to the standard 12,000 watts that you would get with battery only at night when the sun is not shining. So the max continuous input current from the grid is going to be 100 amps. We've got generator max continuous input at 62.5 amps. I think they recommend somewhere between a 6,000 to 15,000 watt generator to be connected to this system. The peak surge capacity with battery only when the sun is not shining comes in at 15,360 watts for 10 seconds. We've got a total harmonic distortion of less than 3%, so this inverter can be hooked up to a bunch of sensitive electronics without having any power quality issues. We've got two MPPTs, or maximum power point trackers, at 35 amps each, and that is basically your operating current or your maximum power point current. They can handle up to 44 amps of short circuit current. So this is a pretty impressive MPPT, to be honest. That's a pretty high amperage for your average MPPT, and then you can put up to 2 strings in parallel per MPPT. Now just remember, when you're utilizing the same MPPT, it is extremely important that those strings are the exact same length. All of the solar panels are the same, they're at the same tilt, and they're all facing the same azimuth. This is the basic string inverter fundamentals. You don't want to start mixing and matching different length strings or panels facing different directions on the same MPPT. So for the DC inputs, it can take between 100 and 480 volts DC for kind of your operating voltage. And then it can really get up to 500 volts of open circuit voltage before it causes damage to the inverter. Now, and you don't want to really mess with that value. You don't want to get up there near 500. So you kind of want to just make sure that, on the coldest days expected at your home, which would be the highest voltage expected out of your panels, they're going to kind of land between that 100 and 480 volts DC. Max solar input is 28,000 watts, and that would be 14,000 watts per MPPT. Now the max usable solar input is 24,000 watts or 12,000 watts per MPPT. Now, in most cases, you're not actually going to want to max these out. It really doesn't make sense. I mean, if you have a gigantic battery bank and you're simultaneously using a lot of AC power, you could take advantage of that architecture, that DC coupled architecture, where, you could be cranking out a ton of power and charging your batteries with a massive solar array. But usually, if you're going to install solar arrays of that size, you're probably going to want a larger inverter or maybe multiple inverters in parallel. The idle consumption on this inverter is 70 watts. That's pretty standard. We've got a locked rotor amperage of 195 amps. So you could expect this inverter to start like a 5-ton AC. That's pretty impressive. That locked rotor amperage is up there with some of the best batteries and solar inverters on the market today. This takes 48 volt nominal battery banks. So, you're not going to pair any high voltage batteries with this. Just your standard 48 volt batteries are what we're going to be connecting. And then it does have closed loop communications with any EG4 batteries on the market today, as well as a handful of other batteries out there. I'm sure you can find that list on EG4's website. I kind of always prefer pairing the same battery with the same inverter, just having all components under one warranty and under one manufacturer. You know, it just sort of guarantees they're designed to work together, that you're going to get good tech support, and nobody's going to be pointing the finger at each other when something goes wrong. If you're getting value out of today's content, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe, press that notification bell, or leave a comment down in the description below. Let's get back into it. This inverter comes with a 5-year warranty, so this is not a fully enclosed inverter like their hybrid lines that have those 10-year warranties, right? This is kind of an indoor-only inverter. That's one downside. You can't place this outside, and that's because that internal cooling method is open to the elements. So again, you're going to put this inside in an area where you're not going to get a lot of dust or moisture, and due to that sort of open architecture of the cooling system, you only get that 5-year warranty. Now it's got your standard UL listing of 1741. So you know, this is something that you can get permitted in many parts of the country. And you can get up to 7,500 watts per line, so line to neutral power. So, you know, if your electrical panel's not fully balanced and you're pulling one on more leg than the other, you can get up to 7,500 watts. The EG4 12000XP also comes with one single smart port. You can use that for a variety of different purposes. You can use it for AC coupled PV. I believe it'll take up to 62.5 amps of AC coupled PV. You can use it as a load shedding port, which, you know, like say once your battery drops below 50%, you want to go ahead and turn off a large load that you might be able to live without. And lastly, you can use it as what they call power shedding. I like to call it, you know, a dump load. Basically, when you have excess PV and nowhere to use it, you can send that PV to an appliance or to a load that can utilize that additional PV, like a cryptocurrency miner or a hot water heater or something of that nature. If you're in the market for 12,000 XP or any other EG4 equipment, go ahead down in the description below, check out our affiliate links and coupon codes where you can stack on top of any other deals going on at this time to save yourself even more money than you would normally. So here are about 4 common configurations for the EG4 12000XP. So one, if you have a 100 amp or less main service at your home, you can just back up the whole home with one single inverter. Now this is not service entrance rated, so you are going to need a service disconnect upstream of the 12000XP. If you've got a meter main or even a combo meter, you can go ahead and utilize that as the service entrance equipment and then feed your 12,000 XP. If you only have just a standard meter and a main service panel, then you may have to install, you know, just a main breaker enclosure upstream of the inverter. Next, a lot of people in this country have 200 amp services. That's pretty standard these days. And in that case, you are not going to be able to back up your entire home with one single inverter because it can only take a max of 100 amp pass through. So you will connect via a 100 amp breaker, run it through your 12,000 XP, and then run a 100 amp critical loads panel from the load lugs of the 12,000 XP. Next, you got fully off grid here, no grid available. So basically in this scenario, it's highly recommended you have a backup generator on site, probably one that has automatic starting capabilities, so you can just make it a little more seamless. But essentially you would use that generator as a separate power source. So in that case, you'd connect your generator through the 12,000 XP, and again, you'd have a 100 amp critical loads panel or 100 amp loads panel backed up by the 12,000 XP. Lastly, is if you have a 200 amp service already and you want whole home backup, and the way you can achieve this is with two 12,000 XPs parallel together. So you could connect both of them with a 100 amp breaker to your main service panel. You would feed each inverter individually. Then each output of those inverters would land in a 200 amp AC combiner panel, that's just a standard 200 amp panel, but it would be to combine those loads only, and then you would run the output of that over to your 200 amp critical loads panel or 200 amp backup loads panel. Now, one interesting thing to note is that these 12,000 XPs, they don't apply to the 120% rule as any hybrid inverter would, and that's because they're incapable of backfeeding towards the grid. So you don't have to comply with any of those rules in 705.12 because, again, it's never going to discharge to that panel. It's only acting as a load or a battery charger. If you're into DIY solar, go to www.rockybroadsolar.com and check out our free Ultimate DIY Guide. You can download it. It'll give you some good tips and tricks on how to choose the right equipment, how to get it installed in a safe and code-compliant manner, and how to get it past that final inspection. Well, everyone, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Until next time, take care.